that have been submitted by our public comment people, and they're being passed out at this time.
So board members, before we go to public comment, the superintendent is joining us there at the table and is going to talk through some plans that he has. So we're gonna take his testimony. We'll ask questions of the superintendent, and then I will go to public comment a little later. I need a motion. So a motion by Ms. Edmiston and a second by Ms. Boucher. Thank you very much. Superintendent?
Thank you. Members, I'm going to deliver this report. You'll recall this report has been placed on the SSD calendar, on the BESI calendar, that every meeting we do an SSD update. But I would ask, I recognize you have handouts in front of you. I'm coming to sit in front of you because I believe this requires your particular attention, and therefore I'm going to ask for your particular attention so that I might walk through some facts this afternoon. I want to talk through the SSD issue that's in front of us because my candid take is that we have gotten to a point in this dialogue that is beyond facts, that is largely grounded in rhetoric and emotion. I think it has bordering on unprofessionalism on almost every side of the debate, and I'm deeply disturbed by it. I have maintained silence throughout this process, and I have watched as I believe too many lines have been crossed, and I am here to provide what I believe is as objective a telling of the facts so that we might calm the waters and we might restore the sense of professionalism that has characterized, I believe, my department, this board, and our working relationship. Why are we here? We're here because 2 years ago, this board, rightly, determined that the academic and life outcomes coming out of the special school district, and in particular the special schools, were unacceptable. You issued an RFP. A group of national experts responded. They reviewed the special schools. They told us that the management of the special schools was inadequate. We put out a national search. Ms. Holloway, Ms. Edmiston, I, Jamie Wong, worked tirelessly to recruit candidates from around the country. Ms. Flynn was a very strong candidate for that job, a finalist. We made an offer to a finalist out of state who we believe would be able to enact the necessary changes, and that candidate rejected our offer. We were left without a candidate. We appointed an interim, Dr. Pat Cooper, roughly 8 months ago. Dr. Cooper began the formation of a strategic plan that took the recommendations of those experts, supported by consultants that you hired. In the time since that strategic plan was released, he has appointed a deaf school leader at the Louisiana School for the Deaf who is fluent in American Sign Language. He has implemented aligned curriculum and assessments in every school, whereas before there was no curriculum at the School for the Deaf and the Visually Impaired that was discernible to me. He has implemented school-level advisory committees. He has submitted a super app under the federal school improvement requirements, as you had said. You wanted there to be strong plans for the F-rated schools. He has done that. He has expanded recruitment efforts to assure that there are, in particular, teachers who are fluent in American Sign Language and teachers who are proficient in teaching those who are visually impaired. He has designed a new curriculum and technical education center. And probably most notable of all, he has signed for the first time in the state's history a cooperative endeavor agreement between the Office of Juvenile Justice and the Department of Education to provide adequate educational services in correctional centers that have for too long not had adequate education services. So he has begun implementing the plan. Now, roughly a month ago, you began to get emails related to personnel issues. Those personnel issues started primarily out of an incident that occurred in Alexandria. There was an allegation. I do not know the facts of the allegation. I don't believe anyone in this room likely knows the facts of the allegation. at least not in a way that has been determined by an independent body. The allegations were serious enough that Dr. Cooper, the special school district, and the department referred them, the incident, a child-on-child incident, to the state police. And while that referral was made and that investigation was being conducted, the department placed on leave 4 staff, at least several of whom are here today, pending the outcomes of that investigation conducted by an independent investigator. You began to receive emails about that issue. You began to receive emails about other issues. Subsequently, a former head of the school for the visually impaired was terminated. You began to receive emails about that. Then there were emails amongst people on the board. And then I began receiving emails as well. I am not here to defend the actions of every staff person at the special school district, the Department of Education, the Special Education Center, Bessie, or anywhere else. As I said earlier, and I will talk about this in a minute, I think there have been bad actions taken on many, many fronts. I will take responsibility for some of them in a second. However, I do want to clear up untruths. Not because I'm taking one side or the other, because I think all sides are to blame, but I do want to clear up some untruths so we have this discussion in a manner that is dispassionate.